My name is Vanessa Tercero, and today I'm going to share with you the growth that I've experienced over the last 4 years, from freshman to senior year. I get to shoot this video where I'm most comfortable, and that's in my kitchen. And today, as my presentation of how I've grown, I have baked a cake. And just like cake takes time, and there are certain steps that have to be done to get it to what it is at the end, is how I've grown, and will show you how I've grown over the last 4 years, spiritually, academically, in my leadership, and socially. And even after all of these, I will explain to you how I have found my purpose before God in the midst of this growth and change. Step 1, my spiritual growth. This area I am representing by all the ingredients that you put into a cake and the process it takes to make the cake. This is one area that I have seen the most growth in. Freshman year, we switched churches, so started a new church and was really surrounded by genuine people who were all about serving others and serving the community, and that really is what I was raised to be about and what I love to do. Well, freshman year I thought, all good, I know everything, I'm not gonna have any problems, all good. Well, I dealt with this medical issue for my whole life. I got to a point that I was so fed up with what God was doing with it, of there's no point, why are you doing this to me? Pick someone else to pick on, I can't do this anymore. So sophomore and junior year were a little more rough spiritually. I was still at the church, but I kind of had disconnected here and there in areas because I'm like, I love God, I worship Him, gonna show people that I do, and I really do, and that didn't change. Like, I still have my faith, I still loved Him, but there was something that just was always there. It was always this, like, rubbed me wrong of, well, if He loved and cared about me, how could He let me go through this? And I was really frustrated. Well, end of junior year, going into senior year, I had to make the decision about switching schools and this whole area of my life that I never thought I'd have to worry about. And at a youth camp, I was trying to make this decision, and I remember vividly praising, like being in worship, and I don't hear God audibly, I don't say that I do, but there was something there that day because it was this, Vanessa, why are you trying to control everything? It is not your job. And I was like, oh snap, like I am. And I don't mean to be, but it's who I've been the leader, I've been the only one that if I don't do it, it's not gonna get done, that kind of attitude for so long that I didn't realize that I had taken control over my whole life, trying to say, I have to have it this way, I have to. So I was like, oh, I don't mean to, like, I give it to you, you can do it, figure it out. Then the next question came, and it was, are you even trusting me? What? Like, did you? And I was like, of course. And then it hit me, I wasn't. For so long, I had been trying to control everything in my life that I had stopped just trusting Him and knowing that, and trusting the fact that He knows what's best. So I had been in valleys for so long and been in working my way up and dealing with this, and in the middle of this time that I thought was gonna be the most chaotic and stressful, that would have caused like my medical to, like, something would have happened, and stress was not helpful. He healed me. And like, to say that now, I'm like, oh my gosh, you didn't need to. Although He knew I was upset at Him because He wasn't, but He can deal with it. He did. And I was so in awe. And I was like, I am just trust you in everything that you do. I just trust you. And now, trusting Him, I'm in a place that I'm so happy. There's so much that's happened this year because of, I'm gonna trust you, God, and I'm at such a good place, and spiritually, I've never been better. I've never felt like I'm on a mountaintop right now, and I know there's gonna be challenges that come up in life, because there's always, but it's just enjoying the time I have now, and He's strengthening me and filling me before I have to go do something else. Step 2, baking of the cake. The time that it takes the cake to rise, come together, completely form, and all that needs to happen. I'm using this step as my academic growth. The same way that it gets put in the heat is the same way that the school applies the pressure that needs to happen and needs the growth academically. Well, freshman year, I give a squat about my grades. Everybody said, this is a year, like, these grades matter, goes to college, all these things. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Well, I struggled going into sophomore year, realizing that, college is a thing, and I do want to go in some way, shape, or form, and I need to get my crap together. And because the freshman year, I could never have the perfect GPA that my older sister had or anything like that, and started just, work little by little. Sophomore year was difficult. I had geometry and chemistry in the same year. I was in every single study hall 4 times a week out of the 5 days. It was terrible. I would come home crying, having a breakdown once a week, telling my mom, there's no way I can do this anymore. I'm done. I quit. Pushed through it. End of the year, I saw the results. No matter what in chemistry, my grades were not showing how much work and effort I was putting in. Final, end of the year, I got a 96 on it, and I will always remember that because my teacher will use me as an example, she did, as someone who wasn't showing that she was doing it wasn't showing, but she was pushing in effort, and it finally showed, and it finally paid off. And that was one of my proudest moments because I was like, I am not a science person, but look what happened. I sent the picture to my mom. Anyway, junior year was a little easier than sophomore year. Didn't mind it, enjoyed it in all my classes, worked hard still. Every year I would get better and better. There were times that I was like struggling, but push. Looking at my GPA over the last 4 years, started here and then just improved. And then finally, senior year, I got a 4.0 GPA. I remember someone came up to me when they found out that has known me all 4 years, and they're like, Vanessa Tercero got a 4.0? No way. Kind of hurt a little bit, but in reality, it's what I dealt with over the last, I had my focus was somewhere else. I was doing this, I would do that. And that is my washing machine, I'm so sorry. And there were areas that I was like, I can do this. Finally did it. Senior year, I am so proud and I'm so excited, and it's where I am now academically. Step 3, the frosting of the cake. I'm using the frosting as the leadership aspect in my life and how I've grown. Over the last 4 years, I started freshman year kind of in the shadow of my older sister. She was team captain, ASB president, known around, and I was just me. I hadn't really made my stamp or impact yet, and just kind of going through life, and freshman year was very uneventful, just kind of starting to get my footing in school and stuff like that. Going into sophomore year, I did this summer journey at Northwest University, and it was a leadership camp for those who teachers and mentors thought that they showed potential. The Dean of Academics actually recommended me, and so I went, and it was a life-changing trip that taught me how to tell my story, and that I may not have this brought to God moment or this magical encounter or something like that, but that my story matters just as much as anybody else's. And in that moment, I was not still in college anywhere yet, but keep going. Sophomore year, I was chaplain for our ASB team. Prayed, grew in that area, grew spiritually because of that too, in the way kind of intertwines with all aspects of my life. Junior year, I was going to be chaplain again, or an officer. I ran for ASP president, but I didn't get it, but I was okay with that. I knew that I was going to go again senior year, and that's how it was going to be. Junior year, I planned our homecoming dance. It was the junior class responsibility, planned that, went out with a hitch. It was great, had so much fun. A month into school, our ASB president decided, I can't do this, guys. I don't want to do it anymore. Let's give it to someone else. And everybody looked at me to see if I would take it. So they nominated me, and then I ended up taking the role of ASB president that year. It was great for me. It stretched me and it grew me, but I did take some hits in other areas of my life. Personally, too, I just would overload my schedule and my plate and become worn down a lot quicker. Before, like, I'll talk about my social growth and everything in that, but it even, because I took on a role and didn't know quite how to balance what I had on my plate, it hit other areas different and took out time from this area or that area. But I loved it. I grew, and it was one of my favorite. I wouldn't change it for anything. I knew at the end of my junior year that I wanted to apply for a leadership scholarship from Northwest University. Applied, did all the work, wrote all the essays, got all the recommendations, and I said, Jesus, it's in your hands. It doesn't change who I am, but this is what I want. You know it. This is my heart. It's in your hands. And I found out in February that I received that leadership scholarship. So I will be going to college now because of the leader that they saw that I am, and now hoping to make an impact on my college campus too. Step 4, my social growth. This one I represented in the decorating of the cake. The frosting was great, but now sometimes you just need a little extra and have a little fun. So my little fun has been my social growth. Freshman year, I was very social, out all the time, had a blast, had lots of different friends, and just enjoyed all the company. Well, sophomore and junior year, life got busier, and I wasn't able to be a part of going out all the time and doing all these things together, and it really took a hit on me, and I would even say a mental toll of not having that outlet to bring back friends. And so starting this year, one of my personal goals was to hang out with friends and to be with them on the weekends and to be a part of their groups and having time spent with them. And I really think I hit that goal, and I have friends now that I just met this year, and I'm like, it feels like we've known each other forever. And I'm so thankful for every single one of them, and that this year I was able to kind of just sit back and enjoy it and just enjoy the different friends that God brought into my life. And the different areas He's also grown me in, to the fact that I even have a relationship now and growing in that, and was not expecting that, and kind of just where He's taken me now, I'm very surprised and very happy and very content in everything that's going on in life. And so kind of just had my fun, and I get to be with friends and just to relax and be myself and enjoy the ride.
As I've grown in all of these areas over the last 4 years, I've realized that my call before God is to spread His word and do what He called all of His disciples do, and to make disciples of other people. And as cheesy as it sounds, I know that the future kind of is unpredictable. Did not know that this would be happening this year, my senior year, pandemic, stay at home, all that happens. And so you never quite know what's going to happen. But what I do know is that God's called me for a purpose and a reason, and to spread His word and to spread what He wants people to know. And one of the things is, I have strongly been against being a pastor. When people say, oh, you could be a pastor, I'm like, oh no, not for me. But in reality, I know that God's calling me to show the love that He shows me to other people, and that He will show them too, of course. And to build a community where people feel loved and that they matter, and that this there's more than just what's temporary here. And I know that that's what he's calling me to do. And I don't quite know how I'm going to do it and what he has for me job-wise, but I know that that's what I'm going to be doing. And in conclusion to all of the steps that we have done, I've grown the 4 years. That the steps it's taken me have put together a person that isn't perfect at all. It's got lumps. It's kind of messy. But it is what it is, and I am so thankful that I am who I am, because there's nothing I wouldn't change. And it's been a great experience to look back and realize that change is hard, and I did not think that I would have to do a lot of it that I did, but I am where I am because of it, and I am so thankful for it.
Thank you so much for your time and for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to share more of my story with you and have the chance to talk with you. Bye.